Hello everybody, this is Roller at Winterbrose, and in this video segment we're going to show you a quick way how to use texture tiling in DAZ Studio. You can see in the viewport here for DAZ Studio 4.8 that we have a cube and a sphere which we've applied a texture to, and we're going to show you how to do that and give you some other pointers and tips so that when you do your own texture tiling onto existing props or new props and figures, that you'll be able to hopefully not run into too many complications, and we hope what we show you is going to help you out. So let's begin. We're going to cover 4 things in this series on texture tiling made simple, and we're going to begin with number 1, which is we're going to show you actually how texture tiling works. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to select an image surface for the prop you want to put it on, and then you're going to load it onto that image onto the diffuse settings, and then you're going to make adjustments to the horizontal tiles and offset and to the vertical tiles and offset, and we'll show you how to do all that right now. But in order to show you that, what we're going to do is we'll just let you know really quickly for number 2 here on the list that texture tiling is going to work great with all the built-in DAZ Studio primitive shapes that you can do, and that's how we're going to demonstrate the diffuse settings and the horizontal vertical settings for you. So we're going to go ahead, we've started a new scene, we're going to go up here to create new primitive, and we're just going to go ahead and load in a cube. We'll just make it 1 meter across, it doesn't matter what size, so that we can demonstrate how to make those changes. So you can see here now we have a cube in the scene tab, so we'll go ahead and select that cube, and we're going to go ahead and minimize this a little bit so that we can have more room over here, because with the cube selected, and here it is, we're actually going to go to the surfaces tab, which we do have selected already, and you can see what we're going to do first is we're going to go to the diffuse color bar here, and instead of clicking on the color bar itself, click this little down arrow, and you'll use browse to go find an image that you want to apply to the actual well, in this case the cube or whatever prop or figure you have selected in the scene. We're going to go ahead and load one really quick, and we have already we have this flower example that we're going to use, so we'll go ahead and put that on there, and you can see how the flower is wrapped around the cube there, which is kind of, you can see it's a little patchy and it crosses over on different edges. And to fix that, what we want is, now you could probably, if you get deeper into UV mapping, which we'll discuss a little bit later, you can make the flower wrap around the whole cube. But we're going to show you how to make the flower appear on each side of this cube. So we've already loaded it in the diffuse setting here. So now we're going to scroll down, and we're going to look for the horizontal tiles and horizontal offset. Here they are, horizontal tiles and offset, and vertical tiles and offset. And what this does is the horizontal tiles tells DAZ Studio how many times to repeat that image horizontally on this surfaces. So what we're going to do is, it's kind of big. If the image is bigger than the surface, you probably want to increase the number of repetitions so they get smaller. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I was doing the offset. Let me do this. All right, you can see as the flower is getting smaller, and we almost got it lined up. You can kind of see it in the image. We've horizontally, we got one flower across, even though it still wraps around the top. But once you get close there, now we're going to do the vertical tiles to bring it to one size fits the cube. And you can see we almost got it right there. We might have to zoom in a little more. But you can pretty well see now we've got it set up so that the image appears on each surface of the cube, no matter how we rotate it. So now, if by chance, we look closely here, you can see this little green area in between the two. What we're going to do is, what horizontal offset does, it allows you to shift that image left and right just a little bit, so you can align it up. So we probably have the image just a little too big. If you look up here, we had a 3.05. Normally a more whole number is what you'll want, and actually that did the correction there. But if this black line here between the two images was offset from the corner and you wanted to see, yeah, you can see it there. See how the edge of the image is right along here, and we want that to line up right with the corner of the cube. You could change it to line it up by doing that. And then of course you want to go around and make sure that every corner looks correct. Let's back up a little bit here. And you could, and the offset for vertical is the same. If you need to make a slight adjustments in the alignment, you would do the same. And you can see here we have 2 vertical tiles. So the vertical and horizontal number of tiles don't always correlate exactly, but you can see in this case that it's 3 one way and 2 the other, and it fits the cube pretty nicely. Now you can use this technique on any of the other primitive shapes, like the cylinder, the cone, the sphere, the torus, or the plane. It doesn't matter which one. You might find that by using a plane and applying images to it on the diffuse, you can set those up as a ground cover, or you can set them up as a background image. And you can use the horizontal tiling and offsets and vertical tiling and offsets to make it match whatever your scene is. So we're going to go ahead and move on now. And the next item we're going to cover is those same techniques that we described number 1 above work great with DAZ figures and also DAZ props. And by that we mean not necessarily figures and props created that are from DAZ company, but that are DAZ Studio compatible. You can see we've loaded a new scene here with the Genesis 2 female in the shorts and top basic wear. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply a texture to the shorts here. So we'll scroll in a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and apply it to the whole. You can select the whole shorts. You can select any of the different surfaces there, but we want the whole shorts to have our image. And we're going to use the same flower image we used earlier. So we will click the little down arrow. If you don't see a down arrow, if you don't see a down arrow, here you see this little, the shorts is the image. You can still click that and it brings up that browsing effect. So we're going to go here and we're going to browse really quickly. And we're going to go pick up our flower image again. And here we've browsed to it, and there it is. So we'll go ahead and double click it and bring it in. And you can see it's applied it to the shorts. Now once again we've got to use the horizontal and vertical tiling and offsets to make it fit the shorts. Now because we can see most of the flower horizontally because the shorts are longer than they are tall. So we'll go ahead and start with the vertical tiles this time. And we'll see if we can get that down to where, and actually you can actually have multiple repeated patterns. Let's say we want it to be a couple times across the shorts. Looks like we got them 3.5 times there. And then we'll go ahead and get the horizontal settings so that we get the flower more into perspective. There you go. And there you go. You can see we've applied the flower image right there to the shorts. We could render that as a new scene. And we'd have a nice looking pair of floral shorts with a print on them. Now we could take this horizontal offset. Let's say we want to center it a little bit. Let's say we want to center the actual image in the middle. So we can do that to get the flowers centered horizontally right down the midline. And let's just say we want the top row of flowers to show completely and not be cut off like they are here for the petals. So we take the vertical offset and we can run that down. We can run it down, up, just make minor adjustments to there. So now I have a nice complete set of florals there. And you can see if we spin around, it's been applied to the complete set of shorts. And you could do the same for the top if you wanted to make a matching set. So you can see that if you use this on the DAZ compatible, Studio compatible props, you can apply them. So what we're going to do really quickly, now this is a little far-fetched, but what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Genesis, the female, and we're going to do the same thing to her. We're actually going to apply the flowers to her. So we'll go there really quick. And there you go. You can see the flowers are all over the kind of a neat looking. If you were looking for something strange, you can get some cool effects. Use your imagination to do what you want to do, but you can see that we were able to apply the floral textures directly to the Genesis 2 female and get some really cool looking stuff. We're going to go over one more thing really quickly, just so that if you ever have a problem with the texture tiling that you run into that we're going to demonstrate, you'll know why. The fourth item we're going to cover is that texture tiling doesn't work with objects in DAZ Studio that are not UV mapped. And if you don't know what that means, UV mapping, that's okay. We just want you to be aware that if you do load in a prop or an object file from from some other source and you can't get the texture tiling to work on the horizontal tiling and offsets and the vertical tiling offsets, we want you to know it's probably because it's not been UV mapped. And we'll demonstrate that for you now. For this last demonstration, we've loaded what we like to call Fancy Cross. We've loaded a version that is UV mapped and one that isn't. And what we're going to do, the one on the left is not UV mapped. We will go there first and select it, and we will show you what happens. Now we can go ahead and load an image against it, and we will go find our flower again. And there it is. And now we'll go down here to the horizontal tiling and offsets, and you'll see that no matter how we move this bar, nothing seems to happen. You can see a little bit of changes when we do the vertical, and that's probably because of the colors in the image sliding across. But no matter what we do with these settings, we cannot get anything to shrink down so that we can actually see the flower image on top of this fancy cross. So, and that's because this object file was actually not UV mapped before we imported it into DAZ Studio. So if you do run into, you can apply an image to something, but you just can't get it to work with your horizontal tiles and offset or your vertical tiles and offset, it may be because the object wasn't UV mapped. So this, we'll click over here to the right one. This fancy cross, we did UV map it. And so we'll go demonstrate with it, and we'll do the same thing. We'll go ahead and apply that flower to it. And it's already here in the list, so we'll just pick it there. And you can see the flower there. And we did some experimentation just to speed up the tutorial a bit. And we know that we can do 13 as a good horizontal tile value, and we'll use the vertical 13. And now you can see our flower image appearing nicely in there. We will go back to this one just to show you that there's the flower. And we'll go ahead and use those same values to show you that it doesn't really, well, you can already see it's almost 13 already. And you can see that there's really, oops, sorry, let me change that to 13. And you can see how we really just see like a green patch that's somewhere in that image. We just don't know where. So you can see that this one that has been UV mapped, we can actually, you've seen we've done the tiling. We'll show you that we can do the offsets. We can rotate a little bit around there to where we like it. And we can do it up and down to where we like it. So if you do run into a complication with the object you've imported into DAZ Studio that won't let you do any horizontal tiling and offsets or vertical tiling and offsets, like I said, the image has probably not been UV mapped, and that's beyond the discussion of this tutorial, but how to do UV mapping, but just so that you're aware that that could be the problem. We hope this taught you a few things, and we hope you enjoy DAZ Studio and continue to use it. And you can visit our website anytime to see what we have to offer. Have a great day.